Good afternoon. This is All India Radio. I'm Anubha Rohatgi, and with me is Abhishek Mukhopadhyay with the Midday News. The headlines. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to interact with Chief Ministers of all states and union territories tomorrow to discuss COVID-19 vaccination rollout. India to begin world's largest vaccination drive on January 16th. Private companies in Punjab start buying cotton way above minimum support price. Several parts of North India reel under severe cold wave. And in cricket, India dig deep to save the Sydney Test as Australia set an imposing target of 407 runs. As the nation fights the COVID-19 pandemic, we begin with a message of precaution to stay safe and protected by following these three simple steps. Wear a face mask, maintain 2 gaz ki doori for social distancing, focus on hand and face hygiene. And now, the news. Prime Minister Narendra Modi will interact with Chief Ministers of all states tomorrow evening through video conferencing. Prime Minister's office said during the interaction, the COVID-19 situation and the vaccination rollout will be discussed. India's nationwide vaccination drive will begin on the 16th of this month. Emergency use authorization or accelerated approval has been granted by the national regulator, Drugs Controller General of India, for 2 vaccines, Covishield and Covaxin, which have established safety and immunogenicity. COVID-19 vaccine priority will be given to healthcare workers and frontline workers who are estimated to be around 3 crores, followed by those above 50 years of age and the under 50 population groups with comorbidities numbering around 27 crores. Yesterday, the Prime Minister had chaired a high-level meeting to review the COVID-19 status in the country, along with the preparedness of the states and UTs for COVID vaccination. Our correspondent reports that the mode of strategy to roll out the vaccination was also discussed in the meeting.
The rollout of the vaccine will provide priority to the healthcare workers and the frontline workers who are estimated to be around 3 crores. They will be followed by those above 50 years of age and the under 50 population groups with comorbidities numbering around 27 crore. The training process of vaccinators and vaccine administrators was also detailed out during today's meeting. A total of 2,360 participants were trained during national level training of trainers, which comprised state immunization officers, cold chain officers, IEC officials and development partners. More than 61,000 program managers, 2 lakh vaccinators and 3.7 lakh other vaccination team members have been trained so far as part of trainings at states, districts and block levels. With Anand Kumar, Suparna Saikia, IIR News, Delhi.
President Ramnath Kovind has said India has been at the forefront in forging a global response to combat the enormous challenges posed by the COVID-19 pandemic. President Kovind was delivering the valedictory address of the Pravasi Bharatiya Divas Convention 2021 yesterday. He said development of 2 Indian COVID vaccines is a major achievement for Atmanirbhar Bharat Abhiyan, driven by the spirit of global well-being.
We supplied medicines to nearly 150 countries, making the world look at India as the pharmacy of the world. The recent success of our scientists and technicians in developing 2 COVID vaccines is a matter of achievement for the Atmanirbhar Bharat Abhiyan, which is driven by the spirit of global well-being. The COVID-19 pandemic has led to severe travel disruptions. I appreciate the role played by the Ministry of External Affairs and our missions abroad for reaching out to the diaspora by facilitating their travel in these difficult times.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi has said India is ready to protect humanity with 2 made-in-India COVID-19 vaccines. The products and solutions made in India will benefit the entire world. He was addressing the 16th Pravasi Bharatiya Divas Convention through virtual mode yesterday.
आज भारत एक नहीं बल्कि 2 मेड इन इंडिया कोरोना वैक्सीन के साथ मानवता की सुरक्षा के लिए तैयार है। दुनिया की फार्मेसी होने के नाते दुनिया के हर जरूरतमंद तक जरूरी दवाएं पहुंचाने का काम भारत ने पहले भी किया है और आज भी कर रहा है। दुनिया आज सिर्फ भारत की वैक्सीन का इंतजार ही नहीं कर रही, बल्कि दुनिया का सबसे बड़ा वैक्सीनेशन प्रोग्राम भारत कैसे चलाता है, इस पर भी नजरें हैं।
In Bihar, the COVID vaccination will be done at 300 health facilities, including medical colleges and primary health centers on January 16th. Health Minister Mangal Pandey said the number of vaccination centres will be increased as per the requirement. A 5-member committee will oversee the drive at each centre. Over 4,62,000 health workers have registered for vaccination. Meanwhile, 2,50,858 patients have so far recovered from the COVID-19 infection in the state. Currently, 4,130 patients are undergoing treatment at various hospitals. COVID-19 recovery rate in the state is improved to 97.83%. About 1,13,000 corona tests were carried out during the past 24 hours.
In Uttarakhand, the Health Department will conduct the final dry run for COVID-19 vaccination on 12th January. The state had conducted 2 mock drills earlier on the 2nd and the 8th of this month. Chief Minister Trivendra Singh Rawat congratulated Prime Minister Narendra Modi for the launch of a nationwide vaccination drive from 16th January. After interacting with the Health Department officials, Chief Secretary Om Prakash said that around 140 ambulances have been arranged to be sent to different districts for vaccination. The ambulances can be also used to pick and drop beneficiaries in emergency cases. Brazilian President Jair Bolsonaro has requested India for 2 million doses of Covishield vaccine produced indigenously by the Serum Institute of India, Pune. Mr. Bolsonaro has written a letter to Prime Minister Narendra Modi to expedite the shipment of COVID-19 vaccine to Brazil without affecting India's vaccination program. Mr. Bolsonaro's letter, released by his press office, comes amid growing pressure to speed up Brazil's vaccine rollout and end the world's second deadliest coronavirus outbreak.
The country's COVID-19 recovery rate has reached 96.42% as more than 19,000 COVID patients recovered during the last 24 hours. The total number of recoveries has gone up to over 1,75,000. Health Ministry said the actual caseload currently comprises only 2.14% of the total positive cases. Presently, the total number of active cases in the country is around 2,23,000. During the past 24 hours, 18,645 new cases were reported, taking the total number of positive cases in the country to over 1,450,000. The ministry said currently India's case fatality rate is at 1.44%, which is one of the lowest globally. During the last 24 hours, 201 deaths were reported, taking the toll to 1,50,999. According to Indian Council of Medical Research, more than 8,43,000 tests were conducted in the last 24 hours. The total number of samples tested so far has crossed 18 crore 10 lakh. The focused efforts of centres and state and UT governments on effective clinical management of the hospitalized cases have ensured sustained decline in India's case fatality rate, which is 1.44% today. With effective containment strategy, aggressive testing and standardized clinical management protocols based on holistic standard and care protocol across government and private hospitals, the number of new deaths have dipped. Less than 300 new deaths have been recorded in the country since the last 16 days. As part of the COVID management and response policy, there has been a sharp focus of the central government on not only containing the COVID, but to reduce deaths and to save lives by providing quality clinical care to the critical and severe patients of COVID. Collaborative efforts of the centre and state and UT governments have resulted in strengthening of the health facilities across the country. India has 109 deaths per million population, which is one of the lowest in the world. Countries like Russia, Germany, Brazil, France, USA, UK and Italy have much higher deaths per million population. Active caseload per million population in India is also amongst the lowest in the world. The number for India is 162, whereas countries like Brazil, Russia, Germany, Italy, UK and USA have much higher active caseload per million population. Health Ministry informed that a total of 90 samples in the country have been found to be positive with the new UK variant genome.
Telangana state has reported 351 fresh COVID cases during the past 24 hours. With this, the total COVID cases in the state has gone up to over 2,89,000. The recovery rate has improved to 97.81% with 415 more recoveries. This has taken the number of recovered people so far in the state to over 2,83,000. A total of 1,565 deaths have been reported so far, following 2 more persons succumbing during the past 24 hours. In Mizoram, 17 new cases of COVID were recorded, while 1 patient recovered in the past 24 hours. With this, the COVID-19 tally has reached 4,292 in the state. According to the state medical bulletin, a total of 4,186 patients have recovered from the infection so far, while the number of active cases is at 898. The recovery rate of COVID-19 has reached 97.91%.
In Tripura, 3 new cases of COVID-19 were recorded and 8 people have recovered in the past 24 hours. With this, the total cases have reached 33,302, out of which 32,839 patients recovered. According to the State Health Bulletin, the number of active caseload has dropped down to 52. The recovery rate is also improved to 98.68%. The News Services Division of All India Radio in its bilingual live phone-in program today will bring a special discussion program on COVID-19. Dr. Rajendra K. Dhamija, Head of Neurology Department at Lady Hardinge Medical College, will participate in the discussion. Listeners can ask questions to the experts on toll-free telephone number 1-800-11-5767. You can also ask questions on telephone number 011-2331-4444 and post queries on a Twitter handle at AIR News Alerts by hashtag AskAIR. This can be heard tonight on FM Gold channel and additional frequencies from 9:30 p.m. onwards. This program will also be available on the website newsonair.com and on a YouTube channel News on AIR Official. You can also follow us on the News on AIR app for updates.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi will address the valedictory function of the second National Youth Parliament Festival on the 12th of this month via video conferencing. A week-long National Youth Festival, Yuva, will also commence on the same day. The festival, which is being organized by the Ministry of Youth Affairs and Sports, is held every year to commemorate the birth anniversary of youth icon Swami Vivekanand. This year, the festival has been organized in virtual mode, where talent from every state has been included. Crucial components of the National Youth Festival are the competitive and non-competitive cultural events, which include martial arts, exhibitions, intellectual discourses, young artist camps, seminars and adventure programs. The presentation of the National Youth Awards will also take place during this festival. Speaking exclusively to AIR News, Union Minister of Youth Affairs and Sports Kiren Rijiju asserted that youth of the country is an important driver of development in any country, and the National Youth Festival is an effort to encourage the youth towards nation-building activities. He said the youth played a crucial role in assisting the corona warriors in the country on voluntary basis, which boosted India's fight against the pandemic.
किसी भी देश का असली ताकत युवा शक्ति होता है। युवा शक्ति को जिसने पहचान लिया वो देश मजबूत है। तो युवा शक्ति को देश के निर्माण में कैसे योगदान करना चाहिए, ये एक तरीके से वो सेलिब्रेशन है। भारत के कोने कोने में जितना जो युवाओं का संगठन है और हर एक युवा को हम किसी न किसी तरीके से डायरेक्टली इनडायरेक्टली जुड़ रहे हैं और साथ साथ में हम अपने कार्यक्रम में सम्मिलित करते हुए ये सेलिब्रेशन कर रहे हैं। जो विकसित भारत का सपना है उसमें युवाओं का योगदान को किस तरीके से हम इसको इस्तेमाल करना चाहिए, ये युवा महोत्सव में एक दिशा देता है।
Listeners can tune in to 100.1 FM Gold channel at 9:15 p.m. tonight to listen in to the complete interview with Union Minister of Youth Affairs and Sports, Shri Kiren Rijiju, in our feature program Spotlight. Environment Minister Prakash Javadekar has said that over 1,200 crore rupees will be spent by Road Transport and Highways Ministry to create infrastructure for safe movement of wildlife on the national highways. In a tweet, Mr. Javadekar said this includes construction of underpasses on Nagpur-Jabalpur National Highway, which passes through the Pench National Park, and also at highways including Gadchiroli, Chandrapur and Chimur, Vadodara.
You are listening to the Midday News on All India Radio. A reminder of the headlines before we move on. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to interact with Chief Ministers of all states and union territories tomorrow to discuss COVID-19 vaccination rollout. India to begin world's largest vaccination drive on January 16th. Private companies in Punjab start buying cotton way above minimum support price. Several parts of North India reel under severe cold wave. And in cricket, India dig deep to save the Sydney Test as Australia set an imposing target of 407 runs. For quick news updates around the clock, follow us on our Twitter handle at AIR News Alerts.
चलो मिलकर एक शुरुआत करें, चलो एक फैसला आज करें, मास्क नहीं तो टोकेंगे, कोरोना को रोकेंगे, चलो एक इरादा करते हैं, चलो कुछ वादा करते हैं, मास्क नहीं तो टोकेंगे, कोरोना को रोकेंगे।
Welcome back. Private companies in Punjab have started purchasing cotton way above the minimum support price MSP fixed by the government for this season. While Cotton Corporation of India CCI, the government authorized agency for cotton procurement, is purchasing the produce between 5,665 and 5,725 rupees per quintal. Private players have started buying it for 5,900 rupees per quintal. Private players include cotton traders and cotton factories from different parts of Punjab. Cotton farmers of the state are now selling their produce to private companies, relegating the government agency, CCI, to the background. As CCI Punjab officials said, private players are buying cotton at a much higher price than MSP due to the increased demand and higher price of cotton in the international market. Union Minister for Textile and Women and Child Development Smriti Irani has said that India has become the second largest manufacturer of PPE kits and suits in the world in record 3 months' time to the coronavirus-induced lockdown in March 2020. More from our Ahmedabad correspondent.
Union Minister for Textile and Women and Child Development Smriti Irani was speaking after inaugurating Surat International Textile Expo (CITEX) at Surat. She said that industrial vibrancy like Gujarat was needed in West Bengal. She said that it is the dream of Prime Minister Narendra Modi that people from one state should go to others to gain and share knowledge. The 3-day exhibition is aimed to promote the brand Surat by highlighting the strength of the textile sector. The exhibition is spread over 10,500 square meter area where about 100 exhibitors from different parts of the country have kept their stalls. CITEX exhibition is providing an excellent opportunity to the entire gamut of the textile machine manufacturing sector to showcase their wide range of products and services. Yogesh Pandya, AR News, Ahmedabad.
In Uttar Pradesh, bird flu has killed several birds at the Kanpur Zoo and laboratory tests have confirmed avian flu as the cause of death. Dr. Sunil Chaudhary, director of Kanpur Zoological Park, said that the first case of bird flu has been detected at the zoo yesterday. More from our Lucknow correspondent.
The zoo administration had sent the swab samples of 2 red jungle fowl birds that were found dead on Tuesday last to the National Institute of High Security Animal Disease in Bhopal for confirmation regarding avian influenza. The lab report that came yesterday evening confirmed bird flu in the disease in the dead birds, following which the zoo campus had been sealed and made out of bounds for the visitors with immediate effect to contain the spread of the disease outside the campus. The zoo authorities have taken steps to protect more zoo birds from coming into contact with hundreds of migratory birds that make the zoo their temporary abode during winter. Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath has already issued instructions to keep alert in wake of avian influenza in the state. MS Yadav, AIR News, Lucknow.
In Madhya Pradesh, 13 districts have confirmed the existing of bird flu virus. Unnatural deaths of crows, herons and other birds have been reported from 27 districts in the state. More from our Bhopal correspondent.
Bird flu virus has been confirmed in 13 districts of a state: Indore, Mandsaur, Agar, Neemuch, Devas, Ujjain, Khandwa, Khargone, Guna, Shivpuri, Rajgarh, Shajapur and Vidisha reports confirmed cases of bird flu virus. While 1100 crows, 9 herons and other wild birds have been reported dead from 27 districts so far. Yesterday, around 32 samples from different districts have been sent to National High Security Disease Research Laboratory, Bhopal, for investigation. In view of bird flu virus being detected in samples from the shops of poultry market in district Agar, administration ordered closure of poultry market for 7 days. Chickens and eggs in affected shops have been disposed of to prevent infection. The Director Animal Husbandry appealed to the poultry farmers to ignore the rumors and follow guidelines as per standard protocol. Pooja P. Vardhan, AIR News, Bhopal.
Maharashtra Animal Husbandry Minister Sunil Kedar has appealed to the citizens of the state not to spread rumours and misleading information about the bird flu. He said people can contact the Animal Husbandry Directorate if they have any concerns about the bird flu. There are reports of death of birds, including crows and chickens from Mumbai, Thane, Dapoli, Beed and Parbhani, but the cause of the death of the birds is yet to be ascertained. A report from our Mumbai correspondent.
Due to the reports of spread of bird flu from some states in the country, people in Maharashtra have become cautious and vigilant, reporting deaths of birds immediately to the concerned authorities. Samples of 3 crows found dead were sent to Pune to ascertain the cause of death of few crows in a village of Beed district within last 2 days. Animal Husbandry Commissioner of Beed has said that the people should not panic as there is no report of unnatural deaths of poultry chicken or any other birds in the district. It takes around 48 to 72 hours to receive the reports of the testing. State Animal Husbandry Minister Sunil Kedar has also appealed to people to contact the Animal Husbandry Directorate on the toll-free number in case of any such incidences and not to spread rumors in the state. Shailesh Patil, AIR News, Mumbai.
In Jammu and Kashmir, authorities have asked all allied government departments to stay alert after reported death of birds in various districts of Jammu region. Reports of death of crows has been received from Jammu, Rajouri and Udhampur districts, following which field staff has been asked to remain vigilant. Wildlife Warden Jammu Anil Atri said, "We are keeping a close vigil on the situation and 24 hours surveillance is being kept at Gharana wetland where migratory birds visit." He said that after reports of death of birds in Udhampur, Rajouri and Jammu areas, expert teams were pressed and samples were collected which have been sent to laboratories outside Jammu and Kashmir as well. Jammu and Kashmir government has already banned transport of poultry until January 14th to contain the spread of avian influenza. Authorities have set up checkpoints on Delhi-Jammu National Highway and no vehicles with poultry are being allowed to enter the Union territory.
Indian Railways has started the new year by achieving a landmark to enhance the maximum speed to 130 km per hour for 1,280 km length out of 1,612 km in Golden Quadrilateral, Golden Diagonal route. This covers the entire QGD route over South Central Railway except Vijayawada-Duvwada section where signalling upgradation work is in progress. The News Services Division brings glimpses of the year that was in a special series year-end of 2020. COVID-19 pandemic has been the biggest story of the year and India has seen the fight back against the COVID-19 pandemic under the dynamic leadership of Prime Minister Narendra Modi. A report from a correspondent on the initiatives taken by the Indian Railways for providing seamless services to the people.
Indian Railways is called the lifeline of the nation. It not only transports passengers and goods, but also plays an instrumental role in the development of the country. Almost all Indians are directly and indirectly connected to the rail. According to the growing needs of New India, Railways is continuously taking the country forward on the path of growth by providing consistent, efficient, accessible and world-class services. During the last year, Indian Railways faced unprecedented challenge due to COVID-19 pandemic, but Railways turned this challenge into an opportunity by providing seamless supply of essential goods across the country and moving millions of people back to their homes during the lockdown period.
साथियों, बीते 6 साल में नई रेल लाइन, रेलवे लाइनों के चौड़ीकरण और बिजलीकरण पर जितना निवेश किया गया है, उतना पहले कभी नहीं किया गया। रेल नेटवर्क पर फोकस करने से भारतीय रेल की स्पीड भी बढ़ी है और उसका दायरा भी बढ़ा है। भारत में सेमी हाई स्पीड ट्रेन चल रही है। हाई स्पीड ट्रेन के लिए ट्रैक बिछाने से लेकर बेहतरीन टेक्नोलॉजी तक के लिए भारत में ही काम हो रहा है। भारतीय रेलवे आज मेक इन इंडिया से लेकर बेहतरीन इंजीनियरिंग की भी मिसाल बन रही है। मुझे विश्वास है कि रेलवे की ये गति भारत की प्रगति को नई ऊंचाई देती रहेगी।
Railways gave a new thrust to development through infrastructure development and network expansion in the last 1 year. A national rail plan has been prepared with the objective of developing infrastructure by the year 2030 to meet future requirements of railways. Under this, major focus will be laid on multi-tracking of 14,000 km of route, electrification of the entire rail network, upgrading the speed of trains on important routes, and completion of ports connectivity. Electrification of railways line is being given top priority to transform India into a green nation. 66% of tracks have already been electrified, and Railways aims to complete electrification of its entire broad gauge network by 2023. Railways has achieved a major goal by installing bio-toilets in the coaches. Kisan Rail services have been started across the nation to enable farmers to send their produce in a rapid manner with low cost. Apart from this, Indian Railways is giving priority to the safety of the passengers. There has been a significant reduction in railways accident in the last few years, and no passenger has died in railway accident since April 2019. Apart from this, initiatives like Meri Saheli have also been initiated for the safety of women passengers. Bhupendra Singh, AIR News, Delhi.
The Central Bureau of Investigation (CBI) has arrested 2 persons in an ongoing case related to alleged sale and purchase of child sexual abuse material over social media platforms. The agency registered a case against a private person under POCSO Act and IT Act on the allegations that the accused was advertising over social media for sale of objectionable material, including child pornographic material. It is alleged that the accused had purchased large volume of objectionable data from another accused person, which was stored over cloud-based websites. Both the arrested were produced before the competent court at Saket in New Delhi and have been remanded to judicial custody up to the 22nd of this month. In Tamil Nadu, the Central Crime Branch of the Chennai Police has sought more details on 2 Chinese nationals arrested in connection with an instant loan case. A letter has been written to the Chinese embassy in New Delhi in this regard. The crime branch has said that they were overstaying in the country through their visa period, though their visa period had ended.
Cold wave conditions are set to return in north with a gradual fall in temperatures over the next 4 to 5 days. The Meteorological Department IMD has said yesterday that due to the prevailing northwesterly winds over most parts of northwest India, minimum temperature will fall gradually by 3 to 5 degrees centigrade starting from today to the next 4 to 5 days, leading to cold wave conditions in Uttarakhand, Punjab, Haryana and North Rajasthan. The Weather Office has said that due to western disturbance, Jammu and Kashmir, Ladakh, Gilgit and Muzaffarabad are witnessing scattered rain with snowfall, and there has been isolated rain and thunder shower over Haryana, northeast Rajasthan and west Uttar Pradesh. The IMD said dense to very dense fog is very likely to occur at isolated pockets over Punjab, Haryana, Chandigarh, west Uttar Pradesh and dense fog over Delhi, east Uttar Pradesh, Rajasthan and northwest Madhya Pradesh in the morning hours over the weekend. Now let us take a look at the weather forecast for today. The national capital experienced mist in the morning. The minimum temperature was 7 degrees Celsius and the maximum will be 19 degrees. Mumbai will have generally cloudy sky with light rain or drizzle. The minimum temperature was 22 degrees Celsius and the maximum will be 32 degrees. Chennai will have generally cloudy sky. The minimum temperature was 25 degrees Celsius and the maximum will be 29 degrees. Kolkata experienced mist in the morning and the sky will be mainly clear during the day. The minimum temperature was 19 degrees Celsius and the maximum will be around 30 degrees. Srinagar will experience mainly clear sky becoming partly cloudy towards afternoon or evening. The minimum temperature was minus 3 degrees Celsius and the maximum will be 8 degrees. In Jammu, the minimum temperature was 9 degrees Celsius while the maximum will be 17 degrees. Leh will have mainly clear sky. The minimum temperature was minus 14 degrees Celsius and the maximum will be minus 1 degrees. Gilgit will have mainly clear sky becoming partly cloudy towards afternoon or evening. The minimum temperature was minus 3 degrees Celsius and the maximum will be 8 degrees. Muzaffarabad will have mainly clear sky. The minimum temperature was 3 degrees Celsius and the maximum will be 15 degrees.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi has expressed condolences to the families of those who lost their lives in the unfortunate plane crash in Indonesia. In a tweet, Mr. Modi said India stands with Indonesia in this hour of grief. A Sriwijaya airplane crashed into the sea yesterday, minutes after taking off from Indonesia's capital Jakarta on a domestic flight with 62 people on board, and their fate was not known. In cricket, India were 98 for 2 against Australia in their second innings at the draw of stumps on day 4 of the third test at Sydney. Ajinkya Rahane and Cheteshwar Pujara were at the crease after Rohit Sharma and Shubman Gill were removed by the Aussies after they had put on 71 runs together. India now have an uphill task ahead to save the test as several cracks are visible on the pitch which will help Australian bowlers, especially spinner Nathan Lyon. Earlier in the day, Australia set an imposing 407-run target after declaring their second innings on 312 for 6 at tea. Steve Smith missed out on the second 100, but rookie Cameron Green flayed a hapless Indian attack to score 84 runs. Navdeep Saini and Ravichandran Ashwin took 2 wickets each for India. The United States remains unconvinced over Pakistan's efforts to convict Lashkar-e-Taiba LET terrorists Zakir Rahman Lakhvi and asked the Imran Khan regime to further hold him accountable for his crimes. The US reaction on Lakhvi has come a day after India termed Pakistan's action against the 26/11 Mumbai terror attack mastermind as farce and an attempt to mislead the Financial Action Task Force FATF ahead of its plenary. In a tweet, US State Department said Lakhvi's crimes go far beyond financing terrorism and Pakistan must further hold him accountable for his involvement in terrorist attacks including Mumbai attacks. On Friday, an anti-terrorism court in Lahore sentenced Lakhvi to 15 years in prison in a terror funding case. Reacting to the development, India has pointed out that timing of these actions clearly suggests that intention of conveying the sense of compliance ahead of the next FATF plenary meeting in February 21. And now, before we end the bulletin, the headlines once again. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to interact with chief ministers of all states and union territories tomorrow to discuss COVID-19 vaccination rollout. India to begin world's largest vaccination drive on January 16th. Private companies in Punjab start buying cotton way above minimum support price. Several parts of North India reel under severe cold wave. And in cricket, India dig deep to save the Sydney test as Australia set an imposing target of 407 runs. For details of these stories and more, log on to our website www.newsonair.com and News on AIR app. And with that, we end the Midday News.